43%. That's the number that stopped me cold. 43% of Americans running a side hustle are earning more per hour than at their actual job. But most of those people aren't building apps, and they aren't launching trendy tech startups. They're quietly acquiring tiny, boring, cash-flowing engines that run almost entirely on autopilot. This is about micro-assets. An asset is simply something that puts money into your pocket, whether you're awake or asleep. And a micro-asset is one you can acquire for less than the cost of a used car, sometimes for less than the cost of a decent dinner. After reviewing hundreds of business models and real operator stories from places like Reddit's small business forums, I found that the businesses with the highest survival rates are often the ones you walk past every single day without noticing. We are going to look at 20 of them. The last one on this list generates more wealth than almost any trendy startup, and it's hiding in plain sight. If you only act on one idea from this list, make it the last one. It's the one that generates income with the least effort. My name is Charles, and I've been digging into how ordinary people build wealth. Let's get into it. Business 20, the classic vending machine. Let's start with something you see every day and never think about. This is probably the least attractive business on the entire list because everyone thinks it's a legacy model. But let's look at the counter-narrative. According to data and real operators on the sweaty startup forums, a single machine in a high-traffic area like a gym, office, or apartment complex can generate $500 to $1,000 per month. The global vending market is projected to reach $25 billion by 2027, and these machines have a 95% survival rate over 5 years. The startup cost is between $1,000, $1,500, and $3,000 for a modernized machine with a card reader. Here's the first pattern you will see repeating. What you're really buying when you install a vending machine isn't the machine itself. It's permission to stand 24 hours a day in a spot where nothing was generating money before. It's not completely passive. You have to restock and maintain it weekly, but it is scalable. Number 19, the independent ATM. You probably think cash is dying, but there are still massive cash-only ecosystems. Dispensaries, local dive bars, cash-only food trucks, and barbershops. When you own an ATM, you are literally getting paid to distribute money. Operators charge a transaction fee, usually between $1.50 and $3.50. You split that fee, often 50-50, with the property owner. Let's do the simple math. If your machine does 300 transactions a month at a $3 fee, that's $900. You keep $450. Multiply that by 10 machines, and you're generating $4,500 a month. A used machine costs $500 to $2,500. The uncomfortable truth here is that you're just renting out access to convenience. The money isn't hiding in the exciting ideas, it's hiding in the boring ones. Number 18, ice vending machines. If you live in a hot climate, near a lake, a recreation area, or a hunting zone, this is a micro asset that quietly prints money. Unlike a regular vending machine, you don't even have to restock the inventory because the machine makes it. It takes a water line, electricity, and a filter, and it turns tap water into bagged ice. The startup cost is higher here, several $1,000s up to $20,000 for a large unit, but the margins are staggering. A bag of ice costs you about 25 cents in water and electricity, and you sell it for $2.50 to $3 more. Operators report making $1,000 to $3,000 a month per machine in peak seasons. Think about it like you're a kid running a lemonade stand, except you don't have to squeeze the lemons, and you don't even have to be there to collect the cash. Number 17, portable restrooms. Nobody dreams about dealing with portable toilets. That's exactly why it pays. The global portable restroom rental market was valued at $20.71 billion when construction companies build a new subdivision, or when a town hosts a weekend festival. They are required by law to provide facilities. They rent them from someone like you. A standard unit costs about $500 to $800 to buy. You rent it out for $150 to $300 a month, which includes the weekly servicing. You literally have employees that don't complain, don't ask for vacations, and produce liquid gold. Well, maybe not gold, but revenue. The boring factor is the advantage here. Nobody's competing with you because nobody thinks it's exciting enough to try. Number 16, small storage units. We aren't talking about buying a $5 million facility. We are talking about micro storage. Apps like Neighbor allow you to rent out your empty driveway, your garage, or your side yard for people to park their RVs, boats, or boxes. Or you can buy shipping containers for $2,000 to $4,000, drop them on a cheap piece of rural land, and rent them out for $100 to $200 a month each. Approximately 95% of self-storage businesses are successful. The average tenant stays for 14.5 months. You don't sell space. You sell the solution to a problem that modern life manufactures on its own. We all buy too much stuff. Number 15, Notion templates and digital organizational tools. Let's pivot to the digital world. A digital asset is the ultimate micro asset because the cost of reproduction is zero. If you spend 20 hours building a comprehensive project management dashboard in Notion, you can list it on platforms like Gumroad for $49. You build it once, and you can sell it 10,000 times. There are creators silently making $5,000 to $30,000 a month, just selling systems they built for themselves. Here's what nobody tells you about digital assets. People aren't paying for the template. They're paying for the time it saves them. They are buying back their own weekend. Number 14, Kindle ebooks and self-published guides. This isn't about writing the next great American novel. It's about solving specific problems. Books on how to pass a specific nursing exam, how to build a chicken coop, or how to format a screenplay. You write it once, or you hire a ghostwriter for $500, format it for Amazon KDP, and it stays on the marketplace forever. Every time someone buys it, you get a 70% royalty. Even if a book only makes $50 a month, if you build a portfolio of 20 books, that's $1,000 a month of purely passive income. It's a digital cash flow engine. Number 13, domain name portfolios. This is digital real estate. Millions of businesses are started every year, and they all need a website. You can register a .com domain for $12 a year. If you buy domains related to emerging trends, local services, or specific industries, like austinroofingpros.com, you hold it as a micro asset. Eventually, a roofer in Austin will want that exact name, and they will pay $500, $2,000, or even $5,000 for it. You pay the $12 holding cost, and you wait. It's speculative, but when you build a portfolio of 100 well-researched domains, it becomes a predictable income stream. Number 12, automated YouTube channels. I'm not talking about becoming a vlogger. I'm talking about building a library of evergreen, searchable content. Videos like 10-hour rain sounds for sleep, how to fix a leaky Kohler faucet, or relaxing jazz music. These videos cost very little to produce. Once they are uploaded, they act like little real estate properties on the internet. YouTube runs ads on them, and you collect the revenue every single month. A channel with 50 evergreen utility videos can quietly generate $500 to $2,000 a month for years without you ever showing your face. Number 11, peer-to-peer equipment rental. Look in your garage. You probably have $3,000 worth of tools, cameras, or camping gear that you use twice a year. Platforms like ShareGrid for camera gear or Fat Llama for general items let you rent out what you already own. A $2,000 camera lens can rent for $50 a day. If you rent it out just 4 days a month, that's $200. In 10 months, it has paid for itself, and everything after that is pure profit. You are turning your dead liabilities into cash-flowing microassets. Number 10, party equipment rental. Now let's do the simple math again. A commercial-grade bounce house costs about $500. You rent it out for $250 a day on weekends. If it books just 6 times a month, that's $500. You break even in exactly 30 days. After that, it's a microasset, generating 100% gross profit before maintenance and insurance. You can expand into folding chairs, tables, and pop-up tents. It requires manual labor on Friday and Sunday, but for the rest of the week, the asset is doing the work for you. Number 9, laundromat machines. If you can't afford an entire $500,000 laundromat, you can buy a microasset within one. Many laundromat owners will allow you to place your own specialized machines in their space for a revenue split. Think of a heavy-duty commercial washer for rugs, or a specialized soap dispensing machine. The beauty of laundromats is the survival rate. 94.8% are still operating after 5 years. Compare that to any new restaurant. People will always need clean clothes. Number 8, arcade and claw machines. You see them in the corner of local pizza shops, bowling alleys, and movie theaters. A claw machine costs about $1,000 to $2,500. You stock it with cheap plush toys that cost 50 cents each. The machine charges $1 or $2 per play. The win rate is programmed. It's an entertainment microasset. A good location can net $300 to $800 a month. You drop by once every 2 weeks to collect the cash and refill the toys. It sounds almost illegal. It's not. Number 7, parking spaces. If you live in a dense urban area, a parking spot is a premium asset. You can rent out your personal driveway or lease a small dirt lot near a commercial district and subdivide it into 5 spots. Apps like Spot Hero allow you to list your spot hourly or monthly. A single spot in a city can rent for $200 to $400 a month. 5 spots times $300 per month equals $200 in monthly rent. Zero maintenance, zero employees, just painted lines on concrete. Number 6, specialized tool rentals. Instead of general tools, focus on high-ticket, specific problems. A commercial pressure washer, a professional carpet cleaner, or a thermal imaging camera. These are things people desperately need for one day but will never buy. A thermal camera costs $600. You rent it to homeowners looking for drafts for $75 a day. It pays for itself in 8 rentals. And here's something almost nobody tells you. It pairs perfectly with the previous ones on this list. You can build an entire rental empire without ever opening a storefront. Number 5, niche paid newsletters. If you have deep knowledge about a specific highly valuable topic, say zoning laws in commercial real estate or import taxes in e-commerce, you can start a Substack. You charge $15 a month for the newsletter. You only need 100 subscribers to make $500 a month. You only need 1,000 subscribers to make $15,000 a month. The asset is your audience and your archive of previous emails. Number 4, print-on-demand storefronts. You create a simple, clever design, maybe a joke only nurses understand, or a niche hobby reference. You upload it to Redbubble or Printify. You don't buy shirts, you don't screen print, you don't ship boxes. When someone buys the shirt for $25, the platform prints and ships it, and you get a $5 royalty. The design is the micro asset, a portfolio of 1,000 designs acting as tiny digital salespeople working 24/7 across the globe. Number 3, software micro SaaS and Chrome extensions. You don't need to build the next Facebook. You just need to solve one tiny, annoying problem. A Chrome extension that formats messy CSV files for accountants, a plugin that helps Amazon sellers calculate margins. You hire a developer on Upwork for $1,000 to build it. You charge $5 a month for access. 200 users means $1,000 a month in recurring revenue. The software is the asset, and the internet is your distribution. Number 2, stock photos and B-roll footage. Every documentary, YouTube video, and corporate presentation needs footage. Drone shots of a city skyline, close-ups of people typing, time lapses of traffic. You shoot it once, upload it to Shutterstock or Pond5, and it becomes a digital royalty engine. A 10-second drone clip of a sunset can sell 400 times for $50 a pop over 10 years. Your hard drive is full of potential micro assets right now. And number 1, the ultimate micro asset. It's the one I promised you earlier. It's building a standard operating procedure, or an SOP. Let me explain. An SOP is a documented step-by-step system for how a task is done. If you own a boring service business, like window cleaning, pool cleaning, or landscaping, the business relies on you. But the moment you write down exactly how the phone is answered, exactly how the pool is skimmed, and exactly how the invoice is sent, you turn a job into an asset. Morgan Housel puts it in a way I never forget. In his book, The Psychology of Money, wealth is what you don't see. When you have an SOP, you can hire someone else to run the system. You have essentially created a micro-franchise out of thin air. The asset isn't the squeegee or the truck. The asset is the system. Let me be honest with you for a moment. When I first started studying business, I was also looking for the genius idea. I wanted the revolutionary app. I thought you had to invent something new to be wealthy. But that's the uncomfortable truth behind this entire list. None of them are brilliant. All of them are consistent. Consider 2 people. Daniel wants to change the world. He spends 3 years and $80,000 building an app that nobody downloads because the market is too crowded. Alex just wants to change his zip code. He spends $3,000 on a used ice vending machine, $2,000 on a pressure washer to rent out, and spends his weekends building Notion templates. 3 years later, Alex has a portfolio of 7 different micro assets generating $6,000 a month in recurring revenue. He doesn't have employees, he doesn't have a boss, and he doesn't have stress. The money isn't hiding in the exciting ideas. It never was. It's hiding in the boring ones that nobody else wants to do. The question isn't which of these businesses is best. The question is, which one can you start with what you have right now? Ask yourself first whether it pays you once or pays you every month. Hit that like button. It helps a lot. Subscribe if you want us to keep talking about real money and business strategies. Tell me in the comments which of these businesses surprised you the most. I'm Charles, and I'll see you in the next video.